Okay, first thing that comes to mind. Favorite color?
Red.
I knew that. Why did I even ask? Okay, favorite fruit?
I didn't have to think about that. Crap, what's my favorite fruit? Watermelon. Duh, everybody knows that. Yeah.
Dang, I didn't know that. Favorite place in the world?
I don't know. It's between Hawaii or Greece for sure.
Place you want to go?
Thailand and Iceland.
Whoa, those are like
One of those.
extreme opposites. Too.
I know.
Favorite food to eat if diet didn't matter?
Yeah. Duh.
If you could have a dog, what kind of dog would you have?
A pit bull.
Really? Oh, I just think it's funny the way you said like pit bull.
I know,
and
like
pit
if
bull.
they're like, I know. I just love them.
I know. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of TAIOACI. It's me, Brendan Eldon, and we have a wonderful, favorite, best friend guest here in the house. This is our house because that's how we record. We record in the house. Please welcome to the table, Emily Prada. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, Emily Prada is a photographer, but she's like a superwoman and does all sorts of things that like you wouldn't even know until you heard this podcast or watched this video. So we're going to talk about all that. So TAIOACI is all about understanding the artistry of a creative. Now, she's a super creative person and she does all these things, but how she got there and that journey is what we're going to talk about today. So, Emily Prada, you are a photographer, correct? Say yes.
Yep.
All right, so she is a photographer.
I
We
am.
just had to get that out of the way.
Just in case.
All right, so how long have you been doing photography as far as recent times? How long has that been going on?
Probably like a year and a half.
Year and a half. Okay. So, I mean, but what's crazy is that your work and your business is kind of like flying. It's just like you're busy. You just like will look on your Instagram, you look on your social media, and it's just like picture after picture, and it's just like thousands of likes and this, and it's like, what is going on? So I'm just so intrigued of like, how did that happen so fast? And you're super talented. So backtrack, way back. Let's go back. For a lot of you that don't know, Mrs. Emily Prada actually was a bodybuilder? Or is that how you say it?
I guess it's, yeah, in the bodybuilding world, but I did the bikini division.
She was a bodybuilder first. Okay, track back, because we gotta talk about all this stuff and how she got to this point. Okay, so like where does that fit in? Like how'd you get into that first? And we'll tie it all together somehow. It will make sense, I promise you.
So, let's see. So my grandpa was actually a bodybuilder.
Your grandpa?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever work out with him?
Super swole. No, I actually didn't.
Really?
I grew up playing soccer, but then once I graduated high school, I just wasn't happy with my body, and I decided to go to the gym. No, actually, just kidding. My mom started.
Your mom's
my
a
mom
bodybuilder?
No, she's not a bodybuilder, but she had a personal trainer. So I
Okay.
started. She's like, "Come with me." I was like 14. I think that's when you can get a membership at LA Fitness.
Okay.
So I literally I've had a membership at LA Fitness ever since I was 14. So I started training with my mom and her trainer, and I loved it. He would like kill me, and then my mom loved it because I inspired her to keep it going. So I started off at 14. I kept on playing soccer, and then once I graduated high school, I started going back to the gym again with one of my friends, and everybody kept telling me, you should compete. Oh my god, you have such a great body, because I started like getting muscles. I started getting leaner.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I don't know. Like
I
I
guess
was like,
so.
I was like, I don't know.
It's never you that makes the decision.
Yeah.
It's your friends that
Yeah,
make it.
and then person after person after person kept telling me to do it, and then I started looking into it. I started researching it, and of course, as a normal person, I started doubting myself. I'm like, I could never do that. So. So I started thinking about it, and then I started seeing results at the gym, which I loved. So I was like, you know what? I think I could do this. This would be like a good mini goal that I can reach. So obviously I did the whole prep. I got a coach. I starved myself for like, not starve myself, but it's kind of starving yourself.
Dieting,
yeah,
aka starving.
Yeah, basically. So I did that. I lived at the gym. I would go to the gym like twice a day, every day. It was crazy. Missed out on a lot of life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I competed. I did great my first show.
How many years was this in total?
I competed for, I'm trying to think. I think 2 years, because I only did 2 shows.
Okay.
I only did 2 shows. The first show I did amazing. I won like 3 awards. The second show I didn't do as good because I wasn't as committed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I just decided, I finally decided that it wasn't a lifestyle I wanted to live.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just missing out on so much life. Like I said, like my family, my family loves to do barbecues. My dad loves to grill. Like that's family time.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do it. I couldn't be there.
Yeah.
Like, half the time they would go out to dinner and they're like, "Oh, we're going. You want to come?" And I'm like, "No, I gotta eat my rice cakes and fish. No, sorry." Like it was depressing. Like it was really sad. Like I was missing out on like quality time with my family.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my dad loved to have ice cream together. Every time he would be like, "Let's have ice cream." I'm like, I can't.
I love
It was
ice
so
cream
sad because I love ice cream too. Ice cream is life.
We should get Phenomenon to sponsor
Oh my
this
God,
video
yes.
right now.
Please sponsor.
Okay, so although you're not in the professional realm in it, it's still, fitness is still a huge part of your life today,
Yeah.
correct?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So how does that how did that transition out of it? Was it just kind of like, this isn't for me, or where did that go?
So I started dating a pastor.
Oh, blame the
wonderful
pastor.
Danny Prada.
Danny Prada. Let's talk about that transition. Wait, so you were bodybuilding professionally. Pastor Danny Prada came in your life and was like, "Jesus says you can't do this." And you just stopped. How did this work?
I mean, kind of, sort of. I mean, yes, but no.
Okay.
How do I explain it?
You
Okay.
can set the truth. Go ahead.
Okay,
And just so you know, he
basically-
talks a lot of smack about you during his
Right?
sermons, so this is a
Right?
perfect
He actually
opportunity.
he's gonna have me preach with him soon.
Oh, what?
So as soon as I get on that mic, I'm gonna be like, I'm so excited to be here because I can tell you guys the real truth of what he says.
Oh my God. So for those of you who don't
So-
know, Emily Prada is the wife of Pastor Danny Prada of Heartway Church. They are the leaders of Heartway Church in, is it considered Davie? Davie,
Yeah,
Florida? Fort Lauderdale, Broward County, same thing. Anyway, it's in that 595 Flamingo area. But so they lead that church. So let's talk about that transition. Professional bodybuilding into ministry. What happened?
So obviously dating a pastor. He was a worship pastor at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You're held at a little bit of a higher standard.
Yeah.
So my bikini pictures obviously didn't cut it. Danny got a lot of emails.
Wow.
I would get DMs about how bad of a Christian I was because I was showing off my body that I had worked so hard for.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's like, if you have a Ferrari, I'm going to take it out for a drive, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So whatever. So I decided, you know what? I guess I'll just, I don't know. I kind of went through a stage where I was kind of figuring myself out, who I was
Yeah.
going to be, just because I was this bikini girl
Yeah.
who was super fit, always working out, and then going into ministry world. So
That's a different world.
yeah, very different.
Yeah.
Very, very different.
How was that? Like, transition? I mean, I know there's a lot to say about that
Yeah.
transition, but from that world to that, like, talk a little bit about that.
That transition, oh man. That's probably been one of the hardest transitions of my life, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Just dealing with so much judgment, being put on a pedestal, having to fit this certain persona,
Yeah.
living in a box. Oh,
Yeah.
people telling me, "Oh, you're doing that, but you're a pastor's wife."
Yeah.
You know, it was like a season where I was like nothing but a pastor's wife.
Yeah.
You know, so it was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough, definitely learning to deal with people, their judgment. People are always gonna have something to say,
Yeah.
good or bad, no matter what you do.
But one thing that my wife and I, we love about you is that for you, the way that you live, you're Emily Prada. And you live that to the fullest, regardless of the
Yeah.
judgment or what people say, and that is
Yeah.
who you are, and that's a respectable thing, because I think that many people live in the way of the way in the response of
Oh,
others,
yeah.
and yours is more of like, this is who I am, take me or leave it.
Yeah,
right?
but it took me that season to get to where I am now. So I'm obviously so grateful for it, because if I didn't have that season, I would never be where I am today. Today, I don't give a crap. You want to talk crap about me? Go ahead.
Yeah.
I don't care.
If I had a mic
am.
to drop,
Yeah.
I would drop this mic, but we need it.
Oh yeah, we did. You won't be able to hear us.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you were saying earlier that like the way that you got into photography was that at the church there was a need for photography, right? Mm-hmm. How did that begin? How did that start?
So when we started the church, I actually didn't have like my place in the church. I had no idea. Like I was kind of like shadowing Danny, the pastor, because I was never in ministry. So
Yeah.
I was like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I don't preach, I don't talk. And at that season, especially, I was not a people person. Like I said, I was living a selfish lifestyle in bodybuilding. So obviously, I still had a little bit of that in me, you know?
Yeah.
So not a people person. So I was just kind of left behind. And then as time went on, I saw that we had a need for like somebody to take photos of like you know, what's happening in the life of the church.
Yeah.
You know, so I started off with my iPhone and my like super old Rebel Canon. I started doing that. We needed somebody to do social media, so I started doing that too. And I don't know, ever since then, I just like really fell in love with photography again, because I started photography as a sports photographer, which I thought I was gonna do long term. I was like, oh, I love this is so fun. But I took a break from it when I went to bodybuilding, and then into ministry. I got back to photographing people and life and lifestyle. Yeah. So that's how I got really more into photography.
So what was it about photography, especially in this season, that made you fall in love with it and really want to go more in depth and more into that route?
I would say just the fact that you're able to like actually like to capture a memory that is kept forever. Yeah. That's probably, yeah.
You were talking to me a little bit earlier about how it's such a drastic from bodybuilding world, you know, and then how ministry is about giving, and then how photography kind of embodies that idea. Can you talk a little bit about like those emotions and those thoughts?
I would say it's definitely been being selfish to selfless for sure, because photography, you're capturing other people, you're bringing out their emotions, you know, you're making them feel good about themselves. So it's not about you at all. You're just the person behind the camera making things happen. A really great memory that I have, it's actually a very recent one. Danny was talking about in his sermon, and recently we baptized this guy who he was in the rehab center, and he would come to our church. I lost my train of thought.
It's okay. Okay, you were Danny was baptizing someone.
Yes, he was baptizing somebody, and usually I capture the baptisms, obviously, for the church, which is a beautiful thing. But I never realized like how important that is until he recently passed away. Yeah. And that picture that I took of him being baptized was like spread all around the internet with his family. Like they all printed it. They all shared it a million times on their Facebook. So I was like, after that moment, I was like, wow, like every photo I take like has so much significance to it that it's literally a memory that people will keep forever. Yeah. You know? So.
Yeah. So wow. So it's this like capturing a moment in a memory that people can hold on to and keep forever. And I mean, you put that into the spiritual realm. That's like really moving how someone kind of transitions into, you know, a whole nother dimension, you know, especially in the idea of death, but now the family has something to hold on to, and to keep with them, and you were a part of that journey. Yeah. So, when it comes to photography, and you know, because you do a lot of weddings, and you do and you're just talking about, you know, someone who just passed away and the family was able to keep that picture. I mean, I've always looked at ministry as this kind of helping people through their transitions of life. You know, people get married, people get engaged, and you know, in ministry sometimes you got to help people, you know, that are going through divorce or going through separation. You know, but when you talk about photography, you're kind of capturing moments of people in that transition. Yeah. Right? From like one part to another part of their life. You know, like, does any thoughts come up, you know, for you as far as how does that make you feel to be a part of those transitions?
It's really rewarding because, like I said, they get to keep the memory. Like especially with my style of photography, like I don't like to pose couples. Okay. I'll lead them into a pose, and then I'll kind of let them be themselves. Yeah. In that pose. That way, the photos they're not posed. Yeah. You know, they're not fake. You're actually looking back at memories that actually show who you really were. Yeah. You know, how let's say a couple. I love to do couples. That's mainly what I do. Yeah. Engagements, maternities, and weddings. So like a couple, the love, usually I do engagements and weddings. So the love is so fresh and new. Yeah. So it's beautiful that they can look back at these memories and see how in love they were, you know? So it's a memory that they can hold on to forever.
So it's very natural, organic in the way that you
very lifestyle.
Yeah. Lifestyle approach. I really like that. Yeah. So in your photography journey, has there been any sort of like maybe influence that like got you into this, or was this just purely experience?
Yeah, it was mostly experience. It helps that I like to take a lot of pictures. I like people to take pictures of me too. Yeah. So that kind of helps me like guide people through their photos, you know what I'm saying? Because I know how they feel
Yeah.
At least when I first started like having people take photos of me, even still, like
It's
if there's people
is it
around,
awkward?
it's awkward. So I can like relate to them, you know. So I help
Yeah.
them like feel comfortable, just because I know what it's like to not feel comfortable. So I forgot your question. What was your question?
What was the question?
I'm like you. I'm like
ADD.
Yeah,
Squirrel.
ADD, sorry,
Where
yeah.
did it go? Oh,
Momo.
Borchin, what was the question?
You were talking about something.
We're just gonna.
That's helpful. Crap, it's on the tip
It's
of
okay.
my tongue.
We're gonna make a new question.
Okay,
That's
new
okay.
question.
We'll cut it out.
my inspiration.
Your inspirations.
Yeah,
So the
so-
question was inspiration.
Inspirations.
This
I
is so
remember.
real and raw. I love it. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't really had.
Has that changed a bit now that you're in that? As far now that you're in the pocket of photography.
Yeah, I mean, it took me a while. So photography has a ton of different styles. You can shoot. I mean, everybody has such a different eye in photography that, oh my god, no photographer is the same.
Yeah.
But your style can be very similar. Like my style is considered like more moody.
Yeah.
And more like romantic.
Yeah.
There's also like light and airy.
Yeah.
You know, so mine's like more moody and like darker tones. So obviously I look at other photographers that have similar style, and I just kind of look at them for inspiration whenever my juices aren't flowing. So
But for you, it's all about like Emily Prada's perspective.
yeah, oh for
Yeah,
sure,
and
for
how
sure.
you do
I
it.
don't want to be. I don't ever want to be like any other photographer.
Yeah.
I don't ever want. I want to mimic them. I want to be who I am.
Yeah.
And I feel like that will definitely always get you more clients, just because you're being your real, raw, authentic self. People love that.
Okay, so this might be stretched left field, okay? But because you come from a bodybuilding world, and like in the bodybuilding world, it's very detail oriented.
Yeah.
You know, from like there's 3 muscles here and there's 10 muscles here and whatever, you know what I mean? But you want to define it, and it's very detail oriented.
Yeah.
So developing that mind, has that kind of like transferred or transcended into photography, like as far as being detailed?
Oh yeah, I would probably say so. Just because, I mean, I don't know. Just in general, I'm a very like, if I'm doing something, I go all in.
Yeah.
So I'm all or nothing. I'm like 0 to 100. Like
Yeah.
I either like you or I don't like you, and you will know. You will know. So
The realest
So when I
pastor's
was-
wife you'll ever meet.
I try.
Love it.
So when I was doing bodybuilding, I was all in, obviously, you know, like I cared about each and everything. Like I'm an ADD person, but I would like read things about it.
Yeah.
You know, like I was just always following people that did it.
Yeah.
And then I'm the same now with photography.
Yeah.
Like I'm constantly reading articles. I'm constantly looking how I can get better.
Hmm.
You know, I'm just very like into it. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
No, that's beautiful. So when it comes to photography, I always ask people this at the end of the conversation, but I feel like it's a good time to ask it now, right? When it comes to your art, your artistry in photography, if you can use one word to describe it, you could describe the word later. We'll describe that later.
okay.
But if there's one word that you can choose to describe your artistry as a photographer, what would it be?
One word. I have like a few words, like a sentence, kind of.
Okay,
like a phrase.
Let's take the sentence and then I'll pull the
How
word
do I
out.
pull a word out of
Okay.
that? Like, I don't know.
Okay.
It's like, because I would describe it as like stopping time. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
capturing like
A moment.
like freezing time. Yeah,
Yeah.
moments, I
Okay.
guess. Yeah, I
Okay.
guess.
Okay, so then, so elaborate on that. So moments, like what does that mean to you?
A picture for me is a moment that you can relive, you know, in a different way.
Yeah.
That I feel like that, like a picture that you can look back on, you relive it, and it helps you either appreciate life or, yeah, it should help you appreciate life. You know,
regardless,
like
right?
regardless if it's great or bad,
Yeah.
that picture is, you know.
Like it happened.
Yeah, it
And-
happened. My life was good at one point. Let's
Yeah.
say, you know, or I went through that pain. Let's say Let's say you're looking back at a photograph of somebody that passed away. Like, man, I was able to do life with that person, and that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, so it just helps you kind of appreciate life.
No,
I
that's
guess.
beautiful. That's beautiful. So, has there been any other moments that, I mean, because when you talk about moments, I mean, there's all sorts of moments
Yeah.
that we experience. But for you, has there been any moments that have really like, besides the one with Jake, any other moments that have really moved you that just made you in awe of the artistry that you're a part of?
I would say another one. I actually did photos for a family very recently. The aunt, I believe she was passing away from cancer, so it was kind of like her final moments.
Yeah.
So I got to capture that, which was a very beautiful thing. It was awesome because me as a photographer, I was able to come in and bring life to them and make them laugh and just appreciate their last moments with, you know, the aunt.
Yeah.
Which that was a beautiful thing.
That is beautiful.
So that I remember when I left there, I was like, man, like, it's so crazy how much we need to appreciate the people around us because they can be gone. Like, that could have been me with my family, you know?
And that's so true because, like, when people go through things, they tend to look at videos or look at photos. And this is kind of like, you know, bringing them back to a certain point in time. And like you said, to appreciate, you know, who we have in our life and where we've been with those people in our lives. And that's beautiful. So although it's like, you know, it's photography, but like the way that you describe it and the way that you live it, it's like ministry in itself.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. I don't even like to call my clients. Yeah. Like every time I leave a meeting with a client, like they're my friend.
Yeah.
I like to make people feel like they're like my best friend. You know, like I always tell them, like, if you need anything, like, I'm here for you, really. Yeah. Like, for some reason, church and like people and my love for people always comes up. Just because I guess the way I represent myself when I talk to them, I actually ask them, like, how are you doing? Like, what's up with your life? Like, I don't just ask them about their wedding and like plan that out. I actually ask, like, I actually get to know them. You know what I'm saying? And then even for weddings, I act as the bride's maid of honor. I'm there picking up her dress. I'm asking, like, do you need water? Do you need this? Do you need that? I always do more than what's expected, obviously, just because I would like for people to do that to me. Yeah. So, and just my love for people is, I truly do genuinely love people.
That's beautiful. My wife and I, we learned a valuable lesson a couple of years ago, especially in this idea of leadership is, you know, whatever you do, don't treat people like projects. You know, treat them as people.
Oh, definitely.
And especially, and we can all get into that habit when it comes to our clients, or, you know what I mean, or just kind of like the workload or the careers that we have. We look at people as dollar signs and not as human beings.
Oh, yeah.
So I love the way that you approach your work, and especially since you do, you know, you focus on couples and you focus on people's lifestyles. Yeah. So you're not only like treating them, but you're also portraying them as human beings.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, you can always tell by somebody's work like what kind of person they are, and you know, for you, you're a people person. You're about lifestyle. But another thing that really stands out is that you're extremely fashionable. Like, where does that come in? Because you're in a lot of the details of your photos. You always have people in some sort of fashionable wear. Like, where does that come from? Is that just like a hobby passion, or?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Because you always have new hair. There's always a new hair color.
I'm just very, I don't know. I like change.
Yeah.
I like change. So, I don't know. Fashion is always changing. So I think that's probably why I like fashion. Yeah. Because it's something that's constantly changing.
Yeah. So it kind of comes. It's kind of like. It kind of comes with the.
Yeah,
with
it's like a new. It's like a new. I don't know, like a new fresh start every like season, I guess, which I like, which is fun. So.
That's awesome. Okay, so let's just say we're in conversation with some people that are just diving into photography, and they want to go the route of EmilyPrada. What would be some encouraging words to them? How would you tell them to approach their work when it comes to photography?
I would say don't try and mimic any photographer ever. Stay true to who you are and who you want to be. I was actually talking to a friend earlier today about how sometimes I look at my work and I'm like, man, this is good. This shoot, actually, I'm happy with it. Yeah. This is good. And then I'll look at other people's work and I'm like, crap, I suck. Never mind. I'll literally be like, man, this is the best shoot for sure. Best shoot to date. And then, I'm like, no, I suck. Let me give up. So I would say, especially starting out, because I definitely wouldn't compare. Yeah. And just be who you are. Yeah. You'll definitely attract clients from being who you are, having your own style, as I said. Like, I figured out my own style, which that took me a while to figure out. Do I want to edit my photos light and airy? Do I want to edit my photos this way or this way? And then I finally found what I wanted, and I just ran with it. And I haven't looked back. Like, I'm sticking to this. This is what I want to do. This is what makes me happy. And then sometimes I still have my moments where, like, man, should I change it? I'm like, no, that's not me, though. You know? So I would just say stay true to yourself.
Be who you are. I love it.
Yeah. Look at others only for inspiration, not to mimic.
That's good. Okay, so now when it comes to anything media-wise, it can get extremely expensive, right? But now let's talk about the individuals that are approaching photography, but they can't afford the best camera. Should they continue to do it? Should they keep doing it? Like, how should they go about that when it comes to have maybe lack of funds in photography?
I don't know. I've always been a hard worker, so if you want something, go for it.
Yeah.
Do everything that you can.
Yeah.
But
do they have to? Do they have to wait? You know, do they have to wait till they have the best?
No,
gear?
of course not.
Yeah.
Of course not. Like I said, I started off with my Canon Rebel XS.
Yeah.
And then I would take a ton of photos with my iPhone. The iPhones take great photos.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of photography is your eye.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a good eye, you can take really great. You can capture anything great, and then editing is very important also.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say no, definitely. If you're set on being a photographer, if you're set on being anything, I would say go for it. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at least you know you gave it your all.
Absolutely,
you know?
yeah. So you've done a whole bunch of photography, of course, already. But is there any like, I've always wanted to take this shot, or I've always wanted to shoot a couple in this scenario that you just haven't done? What are some dream photos?
Oh, I definitely want to shoot a couple in Hawaii.
Okay.
That's definitely a big dream.
Yeah.
I actually, on my vacation, I actually shot a couple in Greece, which was like a dream.
That is
for
awesome.
Sure. Yeah, that was a dream. But my goal is actually to be a destination photographer.
Oh, wow.
Like capture elopements, just travel the world while doing what I love.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So not even working. It's
Yeah.
like
That's
just doing what I love.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I love that. Awesome. Okay, so how can people follow your work? How can they get in contact with you?
I would say my Instagram, my Facebook page, or my website.
Is it just Emily? It's like Emily_Prada or Emily
No.
Prada? How's that?
So my Instagram's EmilyPrada Photo,
Okay.
and then my website
Photo with an F or photo with a PH?
is Photo.
I just want to.
Photo, not photo.
Okay, guys.
That's like a Hispanic way of like.
I just
writing
wanted to
photo,
clarify.
photo. No. I am Hispanic, but
Yeah.
come on, I can write in English.
Okay, got it. Okay. Okay, so Emily.
So photo, EmilyPradaPhoto.com.
Okay.
And then my Instagram's EmilyPradaPhoto.
Oh, awesome. So before we close, is there any like big things that are coming up, whether it be as far as Emily Prada photography or Heartway Church photography that's coming up that people need to look out for?
I mean, I got a lot of weddings coming up.
Yeah.
I have a destination wedding.
Oh,
in
okay.
Dominican
Don't
Republic
tell them
next-
where. Oh, you just
Oh
told them.
crap! Sorry, I ruined
Too
it.
late.
I ruined it.
It's
But
okay.
I do have another one that's
Okay.
in one of my dream places.
Okay.
Hopefully coming up.
Oh,
It's
so
in the-
good,
I'm
so
talking
good.
to them about it.
Oh, I love it. Oh man. All right, so you guys heard it. You follow her work. An amazing individual, not just behind the lens, but in front of the lens and without the lens. She's just awesome. So follow her work, Emily Prada. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thanks for having me. It was
And
fun.
we will talk to you guys in the next episode of TAIOACI. Love you guys.
I just stay quiet.
My wife and I are like in love with this person because she's just awesome at everything she does. More my wife, because my wife is. We don't want to talk about it. Anyway,
She
but-
teaches me how to be.
yeah.
How to be not messy.
Exactly. My wife is a professional organizer, and we're gonna start this over because I was just gonna start talking about you.
Oh, I know. This is not gonna be about Borchin.